And we're live. Welcome to another episode of Josh and Aaron Talk About Stuff. I'm Josh.
I'm Aaron.
How you guys doing? All right. Before we start, how do you feel about the infamous album leak that sometimes happens with artists, where somebody leaks the album before it is released, and then everybody's got to scramble? And
that always is such a weird thing, isn't it? It's like, if the albums, I get why an artist wouldn't want to leak an album, right? They worked hard on it, unless it was like the band. Let's see if we can generate some buzz, like U2 dropping an entire album onto the iPhone, which pissed everybody off so bad.
It was weird.
Yeah. But like, it's like, if the album's in the can, if it's done, if it's locked, just, everybody relax. It's okay. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Well, I guess it's just it's kind of seems like a little act of betrayal if someone in the organization
it absolutely does.
leaks your stuff out. But like, it also, I guess, depends on where in the process you are. Like, if you're halfway through recording and you have a lot of stuff that's unfinished and people leak it, and then it kind of like people hear stuff that's not finished, and that's like,
right,
and you can be judged for that. And it's not done, he's still, but like, if it's like a week prior, it's been done for months, whatever.
Like the last Foo Fighters album, they had that thing in the can for like, I think they were sitting on it for like 9 months or something. It's like, why sit on it that long?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So today we're going to be talking about live music in general, going to concerts, and also buying live albums.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like the real thing.
No, there just isn't.
Real quick, so what's the first concert you ever went to?
Oh, this is embarrassing. What's the first concert you ever went to?
The first concert I ever went to is really weird. It was Boyz II Men.
Oh, okay. No, I don't feel quite so bad.
I went with my friend who was really into him, and I'd never been to a concert before, and so I went. And Destiny's Child opened up for him.
Oh, that
was my first concert.
No, mine was MC Hammer on the "You Can't Touch This" tour. My cousin was like super into it and was like, so we went and saw him like the Atlanta. We're in Atlanta, on the "You Can't Touch This" tour. Baggy pants and all. You can't touch this.
Yeah, I know one other song of his, but like
I'm too legit to quit.
That's only two. It's not it, but like,
only two I can remember at this point. It's the only two I can remember at this point. All right. So, what's the best live concert you've ever been to? You asked the first. I get to ask that. What's the best?
I mean, that 30th anniversary tour that you and I both got to see the Smashing Pumpkins on was really, really, really cool.
It was really good. That was a fantastic show.
Well, I'll just say some standout performances. Like,
yeah.
When I saw Marilyn Manson and Smashing Pumpkins, Marilyn Manson he's a performer.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Motley Crue in 2000, and that was a cool rocking show.
I have, like we as we previously discussed, I have no real love for hair rock, but I imagine it was a good show.
Yeah, and I like Motley Crue, so it was cool to see. I saw Pearl Jam in 2006.
So jealous.
It's hard to actually. The problem with concerts is it's hard to remember the set list unless you go back and look it up.
Yeah.
But I saw Third Eye Blind, and I've seen them twice. One time in 2003, and then in 2019. And I only remember that concert because it was like 1,000,000 degrees outside. But that was a really good show. But like, I mean, I've had concerts where it's just like, meh. Yeah. But those are standout ones. I saw some ones that were like, so in college, I went to school in Newport News, but we would drive to Norfolk to go to the Norva, which was a pretty big venue. Big as in like a lot of people go there. And I saw some bands that I like. This band called I don't know what it was, but it was like the song that they started singing was like very, very anti-religious. It was just like the type of music was like, I don't know, it was like new metal rap type kind of thing that was going on, like Cottonmouth Kings, that kind of thing. I don't know, I've seen some crazy stuff, but that was just because I was in an exploring, like kind of mode, like, but every time I've seen the Smashing Pumpkins, I've liked it. Foo Fighters, I've seen one time. That was cool, but like, I don't know. I think Motley Crue was just the energy that they always bring. But yeah, so there you go. I've seen many more. I did see actually. I saw Blink-182 headline with Green Day.
Oh, nice.
In Virginia Beach sometime in the early 2000s when they both had an album out. So that was kind of cool because they're kind of like the version A, version B of the kind of, but they did a tour together and I saw them together.
That's awesome.
That
That's awesome. Very cool.
But what was a show that you remember?
I can honestly say the best show I've ever seen was the Foo Fighters. I saw them after Grohl had broken his leg. And he was up on that rock and roll throne, and they played for like 3.5 hours. They played for like 3 hours at the Gorge Amphitheater up in Washington, which is a gorgeous venue, and that was honestly the best show I've ever seen. But I mean, I bet the Pumpkins' 30th anniversary was good. It was really good. I've seen the Irish punk band Flogging Molly. I've seen them a few times. They're so high energy. Their lead singer's out of Dublin with a little red hair and a red beard, and he bounces around the stage like a leprechaun. But they're fantastic live. And I will say, I saw Ben Harper, and Ben Harper's always good. But I saw him after his album that he did called Both Sides of the Gun, which was pretty political, and it was kind of like going to church. It's like 6,000 people in this kind of open air amphitheater, and he's got a song about Hurricane Katrina, and it's got a line like, "Don't you dare speak to us like we work for you, preaching some false hope like some new dope we're addicted to." But he didn't even finish the line. He said, "Don't you dare speak to us like we work for you." What I said is, "Don't you dare!" And then he started walking across the stage like a preacher, yelling at, and people are screaming, and he's climbing on speakers, and like that was a really good show too.
Well, that brings me to a point I want to make. But side note, I did see the Beastie Boys, and that was pretty freaking cool.
Well, yeah, of course,
that was cool.
Beastie Boys.
But all right, so like in a live show, artists take liberties in their songs and extend them.
I love it.
Do stuff like that, get the hype going. So like. Yes. Going to a concert is an event.
Absolutely.
At least it turned into that because if you look at video of old concerts, everyone's just sitting there, and they're real quick. Like we said before, like the Beatles concerts, 30 minutes out. It was
play the song just like it is on the album.
Right. No deviation.
Nope.
Because there is a thing like I have heard that like Counting Crows. What's his name? Adam Duritz.
Yeah.
Completely sings the song not like on the album. Now, you want to hear the song that's familiar to you in a familiar way, but it is cool for like an extended version of stuff. And
throw an extra guitar lick in at the beginning. Carry out, drag the jam out. Like I was watching a live cut they did of a PJ show from 2000 and something. And during in Even Flow, McCready took the guitar solo and went. I mean, the guitar solo itself was as long as the album version of the song. McCready just went bonkers on it, and it was fantastic. You're like, yes, give me more. That's what you go to a live show for. So
yep, I hate. Like, I never got wasted at a concert because I wanted to remember the experience.
Agreed.
And, like, enjoy it. And I just don't understand why you want to pay, like, $100 to go there to spend another $100 to get drunk and not even remember the thing. Anyway,
like,
that's just me. That's just me.
No, I'm with you, because it's like if I'm at a show, like it's hard enough. You're so caught up in the moment, you want to pull it all in, right? It's hard enough to remember all those little nuances of it, and there's things afterwards like, oh man, I wish I could just hold on to that memory. But if you are like under the influence, those memories are gone, man, and that show is gone. And I'm going to hear the music. So
Yeah, and I like it's just cool. Like it's weird
God, I miss it so much.
to see the people that you like in the flesh.
Oh man,
It's like they're real people, you know.
yeah,
like,
that's absolutely. It's like,
and I've been as far away as you can be, and I was all the way up front for Beastie Boys.
Right.
I've been as close as you can be. It's just cool to like.
Oh yeah.
To like, there's like it's almost like something you can't describe. Like.
Yeah. No, I mean I've been close enough to like Ben Harper that I could almost give the man a high five, and with the Foo Fighters I was pretty far back. So, but it doesn't change the fact that.
But the one thing I don't like about concerts is the people.
Don't even get me started.
They bump into you. They're rude. They want to talk during the show.
My wife, and she's so little, and he's like, "Pardon me, coming through," and I was like, "It's about to go."
Yeah, and then you get guys that are like 6'7" that want to stand in front of the little dude. Like, come on, man. Go stand in the back.
That's what Stacey. Every time we go to a show, she's like, "Why is it that the guy that's like 6'6" always?"
Yes, I have that. That me and her have the.
And I'm like, I don't know, baby.
I have the same look, and I hate it. Oh, here's one. All right, so there's a show back in the early 2000s called "Making the Band" or something like that with VH1.
Vaguely.
And the band that I liked on the show, Flicker Stick, who I still love that band. They ended up winning the thing. Well, they went to the Norva in Norfolk when I was living in Newport News, and I got to go see them with my buddy, right? These jerks behind us start, like, messing with us because they want to be all the way up front. And they start, like, pushing us and stuff, and I'm like, oh, my God. So anyway, it passed, and everything was fine, but, like, why do people go? People are screwed up. People are screwed up. And they want to be rude, and I hate people.
Music should be a community venture. Like we should all be in this together. It's amazing that we're talking about this today, because last night was like the biggest live show that they've had since the pandemic hit, and it was like in LA, and it's called like Vax Live, and a bunch of different acts performed, and everybody that the prerequisite for getting into the show was you had to be fully vaccinated. And like the Foo Fighters played, and I think Eddie Vedder did a solo set. Like tons of people played, and it was like, and it still wasn't like packed capacity. It was still fairly marginal in terms of the number of people, but you just feel the energy.
But I mean, in all honesty, if I never went to another concert again, it wouldn't bother me one bit.
Really?
Like, I just wouldn't. Like if I never go to another movie theater, it won't bother me one bit. It just doesn't, because there's always something that ruins it for me. But like with the concerts, it's like it's just a big to do. Like, because one, especially if you live where you used to live here, it's always a drive to get there.
Yeah.
It's like I went to Baltimore to see that 30th anniversary show, right? And it's just like it's expensive, and honestly, it's like you remember it, but you don't remember all of it. Anyway, it's just cool that it's more of a thing to do with friends. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I've been really grateful that one thing that Ben does have where I'm living, obviously now is we have a really nice amphitheater, and it holds almost 7,000 people. So we get
plenty.
So that's why that's part of the reason. I love Ben Harper. I love Ben Harper. He's one of my absolute favorite artists. But part of the reason I've seen him more than anybody else is because he loves Bend, and he's played at the amphitheater here like 5 or 6 times. Cool. If he comes to town, I go see him.
Yeah,
because it's down the street.
I mean, it's different. But when you get into those like 20 plus, it's rough.
When I went to go, like I said, when we saw the Foo Fighters, it was the Gorge Amphitheater holds like 30,000 people, and it's an outdoor amphitheater. We purposefully didn't get down into the push. We stayed pretty far back.
Right.
Even Grohl was like, yelling out, he goes, "Put the lights on all those people." Dave loves to talk to Taylor. He goes, Taylor, that's a lot of mother people out there.
Right.
So,
Okay, so how do you feel about live albums? Do you have any?
I love live albums. I mean, I really do. I've got a couple of them. I've got a few of them.
I'm going to say this right now. The same bands keep coming up, but Pearl Jam has become the masters of live albums when they started releasing all of their tours back in 2000.
Yeah.
And I bought lots of them. It's just cool because they don't. Pearl Jam does not stick to the same set list. It's a different set list every show.
So many
Awesome.
songs.
And so you could go out and buy
You can count on hearing.
yeah. Well, of course.
You can kind of count on hearing certain tunes 99% of the Pearl Jam shows. But the thing of it is so great is that they have such a huge catalog of tunes that there are some that they've got like this. You're gonna hear this 6 to 10 songs. You're probably gonna hear them, and the rest of them, who knows? And
That's what's awesome about it. I love that about it because then you could pick like I had like they played at Penn State one year in 03 and I bought that one, but they played a completely different one in the same tour, 7 days later down the road. It is really cool that they do that. Actually, their first live album they released, which was like put together over several shows, was their Live on Two Legs. I love that album. But all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. I kind of want to. I haven't picked up Let's Play 2, but I want to pick up Let's Play 2, which is their Chicago shows they did.
Yep. I like Metallica, their S&M, their first one, and they just released their second one several months ago.
Yeah, that's a cool.
Pretty cool. I do like. Well, let me ask you this question. Just take a guess. What the first ever live album was that was released? Just take a guess.
Ever live album.
Yeah, the first ever live album that was released to the public for purchase.
I wouldn't have a clue. I bet it's some sort of like gospel or blues thing from like 1940s or something.
That is incorrect, sir. Think of
What is it?
All right, here's your hint. The Day the Music Died.
My Buddy Holly? No. Yeah, is that right? Buddy Holly?
Close.
Bobby Miss America Pie.
Okay, who died on the plane crash with Buddy Holly?
That's what I'm trying to remember. It was Buddy Holly and
The Big
I'm
Bopper
trying to remember who was with him.
and the other guy.
Big Bopper, Buddy Holly.
La Bamba. What's that guy's name?
I don't remember.
Richie Valens.
Ricky
first ever live Richie Valens.
Rick Valens.
It was the first ever live album was Richie Valens and concert at Pacoima Junior High.
That's funny stuff.
That's crazy. Yeah, he played like
That's
6 songs. That's all it was. So he played for like 15 minutes. That's all it was. It's crazy.
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Now,
for a middle school assembly.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he played for middle school kids. I just think that's the place they rented out, probably. But the number one, yeah, probably. So the best-selling live album worldwide that sold over 10.5 million 2 CD sets. Take a guess.
Peter Frampton.
No, I don't. I that live Frampton Live. That song is pretty cool. Well, yeah, Frampton Live. All right.
Live.
The best. Okay, it's a country singer.
Is it Cash?
No, but I'm sure his Folsom Blues is on that list of top selling.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's all right. So it's released in 1998.
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks Double Live, #1 selling live album of all time.
Garth Brooks. That guy is an icon. He is a musical icon. I am not a fan, but I will give Garth Brooks that. He's a musical icon.
Yep. Yeah. So it's crazy how different genres get the number one selling of. But that's I wouldn't have thought. I would have thought like the Bruce Springsteen album that is live from 75 to 85, and it's this 4 album set. I would have thought that's up there, but I would have never guessed Garth Brooks is the number one selling live album of all time. That's cool.
That's funny to me. But
I mean, there's
it's not
something
surprising,
about,
though, when you say it.
yep.
I'm like,
But it's cool though when they engineer these live albums, like not bootlegs. Like they're very very high quality, you know. And
oh yeah.
it's funny how you get an occasional hear somebody yelling out something stupid in a show, but
Yeah.
but yeah, I like listening to live albums. I
Always,
prefer the regular album though, but live albums are cool.
you know, well, I like listening to live albums when the live album is something unique.
Yep.
That's why I mean I love Nirvana's Unplugged album. Because I think it's actually some of my favorite stuff they ever did. I love Pearl Jam's Unplugged album.
Yeah, that one though, like Nirvana played a lot of obscure tracks. I don't think Pearl Jam
There's a lot
did
of
on that
obscure,
one.
a lot of covers.
Yeah, which is
Pearl Jam
see,
went straight to the hits.
yeah, but that's the thing too about like something like Unplugged. Like generally, see, here's another thing that bugs me about concerts and the artists. I like hearing the deeper tracks because I mean, like with this Smashing Pumpkins, like I know them all, right? But like, there's a story I'm trying to tell here. I don't like it when they just play the hits, right? Because why do you even need to see all that? A person I know, I think they went to see the Counting Crows a few years ago, and they didn't play Mr. Jones, which is probably like the one song that they probably should play, which like gave them their start or whatever. So that kind of, but I like, I don't have to hear, especially if you've seen the band more than once. So you really need to hear, like, how many times can you really hear Below Butterfly Wings that you have to hear it, that you haven't heard it a million times before? You know what I mean? Like, come on, guys. Like, and then another thing that is like, do you really like the band, or are you just a fair weather fan of the singles that they put on the radio? You know what I mean? Like, what are you really going to see the
Like, I mean,
for?
like, I get it. The Foo Fighters close every concert with Everlong at this point because, well, if they don't, it's like it's just their thing at this point. You play the whole show. You don't have to worry about hearing Everlong. It's coming at the end, people, because it's. Cause I heard one. I was like I saw one concert recording. Somebody was like, "Play Everlong" down front, and Dave was like, "Dude, we're gonna play it. Shut up. We'll get to it." But I'm with you though. I'm playing like deep tracks. The thing about Pearl Jam's Unplugged album is at that point there were no deep cuts.
Right. I'm just saying, but like
when they were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Nirvana's is essentially just. It's like 2 or 3 songs off it's like they do like About a Girl, and they do like Come As You Are, and like Dumb, and then they do a bunch of like random covers and stuff, and it's still fantastic though. It's actually, I think, one of their best albums, of their small catalog. So.
But yeah, if you've never been to a concert, go to one, right? You got to go to one concert your whole life just because it's an experience.
One in your life.
Have you ever been to a festival like Coachella or anything like that?
Yeah.
Really? Well, what's that like? I've never been.
I went to, this will tell you a little bit. This A dates me, B dates me a lot. I went to Horde Festival.
I don't know what that is. Fest? No, I don't.
Horde Fest was like the hippie jam answer to Lollapalooza.
Okay.
And so it was bands like Blues Traveler and actually I saw Ben Harper was on that. So it was like college rock hippie jam kind of bands all playing together. And I mean, it was fun.
So what are the big tours? So there's Lollapalooza. There's
still going.
Warped Tour.
Lollapalooza is more like just like single day now, like at a place.
Hmm.
There's a lot of them. Like there's like Bonnaroo.
Yeah, that was in
There's
Coachella.
and
Ozfest was a pretty big
Vedder.
one.
I gotta look. I'm curious now. Eddie Vedder does. They kind of have started one that they've been running down in. I'm looking it up. That they've been running down in Southern Cal. I can't remember what it's called. Kakua. It's called the Kakua Festival. No, that's not it. That's something different. That's Jack Johnson, and that's like a big thing over there too. No, I don't know. Pearl Jam's they've got one that they've been playing down in Southern Cal for a while, the last couple of years.
That's cool.
There's a few of them that are still popping around.
Yep. Yep. All right. I ain't got nothing else to say about live stuff.
I don't think I do either. I think we kind of hammered that pretty good.
Well, I guess we'll end that episode. Next episode is going to be music shows like The Voice and American Idol,
Oh, boy.
stuff like that, and Star
I
Search.
got stuff to say. I got thoughts.
All right, bro.
I got thoughts.
Well, tune in next week, or not next week, later this week for our discussion of that. And
This week.
next week we're going to be finally getting to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Oh, I can't wait.
John's
and
been
then,
a bit to say a couple of things about.
And then we're going to finish out season 1 with a look at pretty much music from 2000 to today. And, since it's not the 90s, what's it been like? And all that stuff. All right. See you later. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Share it around, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.